Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Fat Guy with a Ponytail. I think this is episode 11 that we're looking at right now. And we'll check in with our current status, which is um, current weight is 250 pounds. That's 105 days post op, and that's a total loss of 101 pounds since January. Pre op 31, post op 70, which I should be more excited about. And I guess I was when I finally got there. But I don't know. The thrill is gone, I guess, because I think the longer road ahead is before me, and that is, um, yeah, we set a next goal of 235, which is light, but really the one next appreciable goal is getting under 200, and I know that's going to be a long, hard fight. Um, so what else can I tell you? Clothes. Yeah, again, more victories. Wearing a 40-inch waist, which is great. I think it was really nice of my daughter's boyfriend to share that was, his waist size. And while I'm not the kind who wants to, I don't know, girls have this thing where like the mom wears the daughter's clothes. That's just weird. I would think that's just weird in general, in my head anyway. Um, but at any rate, it's nice to know that we're almost to a three in that first digit, which would be kind of great. Um, I, you know, that may take a while for that to happen, and I guess that's it because I'm settling in. Other things that have happened since last episode is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving happened. What did that mean? Mostly that meant the turkey trot. And yes, again, I think I should be more excited about this because I should be jumping up and down saying I did this, I did this, I did this. And so I finished my first 5K, the turkey trot, which was a low barrier to entry, low pressure situation. Um, and I didn't run the whole thing. I ran, I walked, I whimpered, but I did finish, and I finished 104th for my age group out of I think 150 total, and 1100 and something out of 2,000 overall, which I guess is not dead last. My time was somewhere. I want to say it's under an hour. It's like 45 to 50, somewhere around that, which is again not great, but for a first 5K and actually finishing, I'll take it. Um, it was great to be able to cross that line, and it was emotional. Now we're looking back, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and so I guess it's a little further back behind things. Shortly after that race, um, we had the Thanksgiving feast at my place where all the relatives came over, and they all said, "Wow, what a change!" And I would be lying if I said I didn't like to hear that for a lot of reasons. Um, One of the other things that came out of that was that the general consensus across the board, and I've heard this a couple times, is that my demeanor is calmer, more positive across the board. Um, that one I find strikingly odd because I don't see it. Um, I can be just as negative. I think in general, I don't think I've changed that much. I try to reframe things as much as I can, mostly because I guess it's important. I don't know how much of that has to do with weight loss. I mean, it would seem to follow. There's a whole story about confidence and things like that. I don't necessarily feel more confident because I still see the fat person in the mirror when I look. I mean, I see other things like I can see there is a bone here where I hadn't seen that in quite some time. Um, and I see other bits and pieces like I can feel my ribs more than I ever have. But I wouldn't class myself as thin. I don't think anybody who's 5'10" and weighs 250 is probably thin, and I'm not jacked up with muscles. So um, we still got a long way to go. 60 pounds plus. So that's tough. We also had a wedding that we went to about a week after Thanksgiving, and that was again more people I hadn't seen in a while and more things that saying wow. And I thought that I would be more comfortable sharing the fact that I had gastric bypass, but um, that's hit or miss. It's a weird thing. I don't know. Um, I still don't like to talk about it. I still feel like there's a bit of shame and um, reluctance to have that long discussion about it. Um, so, so I don't. And went to the wedding. I think one of those interesting things about going to these social situations now that the holiday season's kicked off and we're going to see people is you don't know what's going to be served, and can you eat it, or do you bring your protein shake and protein bar and forego the whole mystery? And I've been trying to branch out and try to act a little bit more like a normal person. So I make choices. At this wedding, I chose, um, it was a roast that looked like it wasn't any particular, like no glaze, no nothing, just looks like meat roasted. Great cut of meat, nice, didn't look too fatty, nice and lean. A little bit of Caesar salad, very little, and a couple green beans. And that went fairly well until one last piece of meat or one piece of Caesar salad, and then suddenly we had to leave. Um, had a few drive heaves in the bathroom, a little bit of parking lot action, and then driving home 20, 30 minutes and puking my guts out. Um, so that continues to be the challenge. And it's happened one or two times. I also tried out Thanksgiving. I tried a teensy weensy bit of stuffing, just a teensy weensy bit. Like, we're talking, um, I'm trying to think of what's a great analogy, a crouton size. Um, and I seemed to be okay. Didn't push it, just wanted to taste it. And then had some dark meat and puked my guts out again. Now, the dark meat, we had some issues with Thanksgiving turkey, and so the skin was torn apart. And so we made our own skin out of bacon, which I suspect had something to do with my reaction to the dark meat. White meat was no problem. That went down nice and easy, and I enjoyed it. Wasn't much for me to eat at Thanksgiving. It was weird. It was definitely weird to be going through all that. And then that was followed by the second annual Christmas Beer Exchange, second edition, where I hosted, and that was an optional sort of, are we going to really do it this year, was the conversation that we had after we knew we were getting surgery. And my answer was yes, because I wanted to feel like a normal person and because I need it for the holidays. So that happened. Um, it started out okay. It was difficult. I made a bunch of things. I made soft pretzels. I made Irish car bomb cupcakes. Um, and there was chili. The chili I could eat. The other things I couldn't. Lots of cookies. Some cheeses. Could have those. So that was good. I branched out a little bit. Had the tiniest bit of wheat thins. Not wheat thins. What are they? The Triscuit thins. Thinking whole wheat, whole grain was probably, a decent way to get fiber. No, it's not totally okay because there's some carbs in it, so it kept the consumption down low. But by God, I needed something. So that seemed to be okay and sat well. Um, and I guess Beer Exchange, what was that, Saturday? So here we are, Tuesday, and I made a discovery Sunday as I was working through, the cleanup, that apparently um, it is possible for me to eat. There were some sugar cookies here, and there were the Irish Car Bomb cupcakes, and I wanted to taste them, and so I did. And that's after the whole beer exchange of pretending to drink beer and not drinking any. There was a desire to, absolutely. I even tried to kiss it, but beer is different than spirits. Beer seems to go on the back of the palate, and so I wasn't tasting anywhere close to anything enjoyable. So I really was just mostly appeasing other people's need to see the host drink. So I didn't really drink, but I drank for the sake of social occasion. Um, and so the cupcake and the cookie was a bad discovery. It was sort of like being told, um, and this was my fear, that with this surgery, there's a certain element of the boogeyman where don't eat the sugar, don't eat that, you'll get dumping, you'll puke, blah, 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 blah. And there's just enough truth to it that you do puke, as I had done just a week earlier. Um, but and the docs had said, they did not lie. They said you could cheat any system, and this system, um, I guess it's about small amounts, and whatever it is, it's all bad because it opens the door for terrible things to happen. So there's a lot of fear, a lot of concern, and a lot of telling everybody in the house to get this crap out of here because I can't look at it. It's not safe. Which everyone was really awesome and made that disappear. So that's good, but that now lingers in the back of my mind and forces me to really commit, stay strong. So we're going to try. Sugar-free chocolates are a big win as far as staving off the hard part. Holidays are terrible because everybody's got it everywhere. Um, so yeah, and um, exercise, I guess, is about the only thing I got. That we're back at the gym, working out, and I also find myself struggling with. So what's next? Is it the turkey trot next year? That's far off. So there is a Father's Day 5K that the GBMC comp folks run. So I'm going to be signing up for that. That's going to happen sometime in June. Um, we also got New Year's resolutions, right? So there's going to be an onslaught of folks in the gym to make that difficult. Hopefully, I'm going in early enough that the resoluters will not be committed to ruining my day and making my workout harder. I'm still not performing the way I'd like, and it's difficult. I had a good day yesterday, but it was a long time since I've had a good day. Um, from a music standpoint, we've got the CD work that's happening. We're working on the CD, so it's a trip up to New York next weekend, just after Christmas, and there'll be more temptation and more discussions. I'm glad that I shared the surgery news with them because that would be really awkward and weird and hard to pull off. Um, and then there's the Salty Ball in February, where it marks the 6 month. Okay, now we can open the floodgates and maybe experiment with a drink here and there, and maybe experiment with starches here and there. Again, the advice, which is sound, is limited quantity. Um, Fairly certain I'm a junkie with respect to carbs, so I think my ability to indulge in that is going to be pretty light if I'm smart. So that's what we've got so far, and yeah, I don't know that I have anything else to share. It's a light episode. It's not as upbeat. Um, it's been a tough couple of weeks to try to push through this holiday business, and I guess it's wearing on me. I'm hoping I'll find my groove again and be able to get plugged in again. Until then, we'll keep the faith, and we'll see you next time.